Hey, it's Graham, your astrologer, certified card reader, and creator of Drunk Astrology. Happy to have you here. It is my privilege to be your cosmic coach and guide every single week as we look at the astrology for the week ahead, but also reflect back to last week and look at astrology in motion. How did the aspects we discussed last week show up in real time in the zeitgeist? And you might even hear some personal anecdotes from me. Those are always juicy. Before we hop into this week's astrology, I want to give you an opportunity to become a supporter of the show. This is a phenomenal way to let me know that you love this content and that y'all want more of it. All you got to do is scroll down to the show notes, click the little tab that says support the show, and then you're 2-ish clicks away from becoming a supporter. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the show. Thank you for downloading every week. Thank you for leaving reviews. And thank you for submitting questions for me to answer on air. There's a lot for us to learn from astrology. So, without further ado, let's hop into this week with Drunk Astrology. Happy December. It's gonna be a fun one. Oh. Yeah. Ow. Yeah. Happy December. There's no other way that I can wish you a happy end of the year, last month, last 4 weeks of this godforsaken 2023. No, there's been a lot of ups and downs, lots of twists and turns this year, and we have to have gratitude for them all. We are under a full moon in Gemini, so why not just express our gratitude and thank the universe for its guidance, for its support, and for putting us through the effing ringer. Because it's when we're in the ringer, when we're in the fire, that's when real change happens. That's where real evolution happens. That's where the real deal, holy field, growth and expansion that all the planets want. So let's embrace that. Let's take that, shall we? Welcome to the podcast for the week of December 4th through the 10th, 2023. We've got quite a few planetary highlights this week, and we're going to talk about those. We are going to look back to last week because we had quite a few bangers from last week in terms of headlines and some personal experiences I'll share as well, with Venus hitting that south node the same week of the Gemini full moon. So without further ado, why don't we get to it? All right. So this week, we've got a few things to highlight. One, we've already said it. We are in the second week of the Gemini full moon, so we know that we are still having these turning points and calls to communicate, because that's what Gemini wants as a sign ruled by Mercury. It wants us to use our voice to express what's on our heart, to give it language, and to express ourselves, whether that's through the written word, spoken word, a text, an email, a phone call. Doesn't really matter how you communicate in this sense. Now, use discretion with wherever you feel like you're being yanked to use your voice. But the method isn't as important from a cosmic perspective as is you using this information, this intel, to improve your current circumstances. Right now, communicating is your sweet sauce. That's the magic sauce. It's the source of changing anything that you want to change. Gemini is a mutable sign. So consider how can you be a little bit more adaptable to what you need to change, what you'd like to change? How can you be curious about how you got here? And with curiosity comes the other side of communication, which is listening. how can you listen more to get insight into your current circumstances? Now, sometimes listening is actually listening to another person, where you are, if you're in conflict, whatever's going on, there is the actual, let's sit down and talk about it. You share your side, I'll share my side, and there's that communication. But man, oh man, listening twice as much as you speak is real effective communication, baby. That is where most of us get it wrong. We think we're just gonna we're just gonna go. We're gonna release the Kraken, and we're gonna scream and huff and puff, and we're gonna say, well, and I want this, and you did this, and you. And meanwhile, the other half is like, am I ever going to get a chance to just get something in? Am I ever? Is there any space? And if you blow it all and just say way too much too soon, or, you just say something triggering or awful or hurtful or something like that, then the other side shuts down anyway. So take that lesson, listen twice as much as you speak, with you this week. I'll also say that listening can be listening to yourself, listening to your intuition. Listen, and the only way that you can truly hear and tap into the well of your own intuition, the highest version of yourself that wants nothing but elevation, enlightenment, and growth, and evolution, and just nothing but pure love for you and what you're here to accomplish. The only way to tap into that information that lies within every single one of us is in stillness. So take that lesson where Gemini can make us feel erratic. This full moon can definitely make us feel erratic and a little wiry, a little buzzy, a little anxious. Busy minds. My little joke with Gemini energy is mental mania. We can be in such a cerebral, busy mindset. And all that is a distraction from the good sauce. And the good sauce is the information that you get in stillness. This is exactly why a lot of us get the best ideas when we're in the shower. Because we're not thinking about anything other than, it's like you're on autopilot. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash. Wow, this water feels good. Your mind is still, your body is calm, and here comes the intuitive hits. So this week, consider stillness, consider listening twice as much as you speak, and also consider putting words to feelings, putting some kind of words, some kind of verbiage around where you are feeling urged to change. You get to choose who your listening platform is, but consider those three things just from the Gemini full moon of it all. We get an activation at the top of the week with the Virgo quarter moon, Monday night, 9:49 p.m. Pacific. There's that balancing act. And it's this mutable energy, so something needs to change. Quarter moons are oftentimes stressful, but they are a call for balance. So how can you communicate to find equilibrium, to re-establish some sense of sanity? Virgo's mutable earth, so Virgo wants to clean it up. So whatever might have been messy over the past week with the full moon and with the eclipses getting triggered with Venus hitting the south node, anything that might have been messy, I use messy as like a little broad stroke phrase, okay? Like messy as in, emotional, overwhelming. It can be joyous. It can be messy and just like, oh, I put the cart before the horse and oops. It can be that kind of messy too. It can be messy if, in relationships and friendships, situations that, you just, you weren't your highest self. Messy is a broad stroke term. But at the top of the week here, we have a call to order with the Virgo quarter moon, which is the halfway mark between last week's Gemini full moon and next week's Sagittarius new moon. So it's we start the week off with this nice trim the fat, kind of like, okay, let's cut our losses and clean up whatever mess we can clean up. Okay, so for some of you, this might be like an actual clean up around the house, establish order, prioritize at the top of the week, making a list. I've been preaching this, especially with the Daily Dose community, but I'm going to even extend that here. I have been championing starting your yearly goals, your 2024 goals now. The top of this week is a great time to consider, if you haven't already been thinking about what you want to manifest or the intentions you want to set for the year or your resolutions. If you haven't already started considering, now's the time to friggin' do it. This month, we have a Mercury retrograde, which is signal scrambling, and it's through Capricorn and Sagittarius, both signs that love to set goals, set visions. And we start the new year with a retrograde. Granted, January 1st is the day that Mercury turns around and moves forward again, but there's still the post-retrograde shadow that follows that mucks up anything that we're going to set, any intentions we're going to set. They likely won't stick. So now's the time to go ahead and do it. One of the things that I have been saying for a few weeks until last week, I was like, Graham, you need to listen to yourself because this is you literally need to start making these changes now. And I did. I listened. Astrologer Graham won the conversation. And one of the things I've been saying was I want to, when I get my new phone next year, because I'm way overdue for an upgrade, when I do that, I want to start using my phone calendar to make, I'm going to set all my appointments, the things I need to do that day. I want to start using both my calendar in the phone and my, I write everything in my scheduler, my planner. But I want to start using both because I don't always have the planner with me, and then I'm out and someone says, hey, you want to do fill in the blank at this time on this day? I'm like, I feel like there's something going on that day, but I don't know. So instead of waiting to that point, I was like, this is the time to train my brain. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. There's a really cool widget if you have an iPhone. There's a really cool widget with the calendar where it'll show you all the events or all the things you have for that day. And if there's not a lot, it'll show you the next couple days or the next time you have an event. And that has been changing the game. So here at the top of the week, Virgo quarter moon, get your house in order. Okay, your house can be your physical house, the walls and the roof. It can be your desk area, your work area. It can be your health and wellness. Virgo loves to get itself back get back into your body with healthy choices, better habits, good routines. Now's the time. The more we get into December, it's less likely that what you start then sticks. So this is a great time to think about it as I'm going to train my brain and I'm going to train my body. I'm going to train my commitment. I'm going to change the energy around what I want to see for myself in the next year by starting it now. That's how I'm going to rewire my brain. Okay? So we've got that. This week, we also have Venus entering Scorpio, so she leaves her favorite sign of Libra, and she goes into one of her not-so-favorite signs of Scorpio. Now, that does not mean that it's a bad thing that Venus is going to be in Scorpio from December 4th through the 29th. not bad at all. Now she's really sexy here. She's kinky. She's like a little jaguar. She's a minx. So she loves in the shadow. She can be a little obsessive. She can be possessive. This is like low form Venus and Scorpio. There's a tunnel vision that can come with Venus and Scorpio. So for the next several weeks, what is that, like 3 weeks? For the next 3 weeks with Venus and Scorpio, any time where you feel like you are latching on, like just holding on to something, a someone, a situation, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, your call and your task is to release your grip. If you are losing hours on your phone doing research on someone's ex, or just going down the rabbit hole of just anything. And Venus and Scorpios also brings light to the taboo. So listen, this can actually be really fun if you are down to clown in the bedroom. There is a lot of things that you might not have ever thought of or thought you were ever interested in. You might find and discover over the next 3 weeks. Venus and Scorpio might bring some spicy tingles that could be real exciting. Maybe it's not something you share with the world, but by all means, let Venus and Scorpio work her magic in uncovering parts of intimacy and mystery and taboo into your life. See how that, see how that activates you. You can look at the Scorpio part of your chart and see where Venus is getting spicy. So take that with you. And the only other message I want to give with Venus and Scorpio is, just she can be closed off. She can be a little guarded because the floodgates are intense, and what's behind closed doors is a well of feelings and passion and things that not a lot of people are comfortable talking about. Scorpio is our shadow selves. It is the realm of jealousy and envy, fear, mystical connections, which some people, really do feel like is taboo. So, you're exploring a lot. You're exploring the deep with Venus and Scorpio, and that can be a fun thing if you embrace that, or it can be a scary thing if you're just like a mental mania, Gemini Full Moon energy, just like, that's too much for me. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to go there. You're being asked to just kind of come into the jaguar's den. Ooh, she's got like slinky, smooth fur, and you just want to like pet her, and you're kind of scared of her, but you're kind of intrigued, and you're like excited, and you're like, wait a minute, what is this that I'm feeling down under? You know what I'm saying? Some of you have probably already switched off this episode. Moving on, the other highlight we have this week is Neptune, the planet of dreams and vision and, substance abuse, but spiritual connections and subconscious mind, subconscious thinking coming to the forefront. Neptune stations direct. So from June, where are my dates? June 30th through December 6th, Neptune has been in La La Land. And when Neptune's active, we got to give him 5 days before, we got to give him 5 days after. So last Friday, December 1st, all the way through Monday, December 11th, so all this week, we're in Neptune's fog. It's a nebulous feeling. There's a lack of clarity. There can be, what's funny is that, well, maybe it's not so funny, because I looked back, and I think I would encourage all of you to look back to that last week of June, first week of July, and just kind of see what were those 2 weeks like. The week leading up to June 30th, I was basically like non-existent. I was so tired. I was coming down from my first pool party at the Line Hotel. I was busy, but I was exhausted the whole time. And then the next week, I was coming back to life, but I even got busier. And then the busyness got me more tired. So I was literally like just a walking Neptune sleep bot. And that is likely, that's in the zeitgeist for all of us this week. So if you feel like you're dragging ass, if you feel like you're moving a little slow, you're slow to start, or your mind isn't fully in the game just yet, you can blame Neptune and say, you know what, the planet of sleeps and dreams and subconscious, he's up there and he's stopped. So with the stop, he's approaching the stop until Wednesday when he actually hits the direct degree, and then he's slowly picking back up speed, and he'll clear that energy will dissipate at the top of next week on the 11th. Okay, and last but not least, this week we are still working with Mercury retrograde shadow. This is the pre-shadow where we're getting the preview of the movie, right? So when Mercury is actually retrograde, that's like the meat of the movie. That's where you're really invested in the story and we're working through it. Right now it's just like, hey, I'm gonna put this ghost back in your life. I'm gonna, oops, this person's gonna resurface, or ooh, that idea, that goal, that dream, that vision. I'm just gonna like remind you, hey, this is there. What you think? You like that? Do you want to maybe work through this? You want to take your time working through this month? Because if so, I'm going to slow things down. Yeah, maybe get you a little frustrated and cross wire and bring tech snafus and communication meltdowns. And yeah, I might do all of that, but I'm slowing everything down so that you can decide if this is where you want to invest your time and your energy. Okay? That's this week in a nutshell. Now, let's just take a quick little glance. Let me flip the page. Let's just take a quick glimpse of last week, Astrology in Motion. So, the two main highlights last week were the Gemini Full Moon on Monday the 27th and Venus hitting the South Node in a conjunction Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So whenever Venus is coming, any planet is going to come and meet with the nodes. This is an activation of eclipses. So we had quite a few ecliptic situations in the headlines. I had quite a few eclipse vibes going in my personal life. And let's just kind of like get a little nutshell here. So anything on Monday, let me just see. Listen, I'm about to explain why I was a little disconnected from the news last week. So Tuesday, first day that Venus was, with the South Node triggering the eclipse degree, had a funeral to attend, which activated a lot of intense emotions for me, my partner, his family. It was a funeral for a member of his family. But the next day was my birth mom's birthday, who passed away in 1988. So I was already, approaching that reality. And so, being at a funeral was a lot, and being at a funeral was a lot for my partner and for his family because of just obvious reasons. Now, also on Wednesday, just in the news, Henry Kissinger, at the age of 100, passed away. That is a presidential advisor for several presidents, the Secretary of State. He was a strategist. He was influential and controversial, no doubt about that. But he passed away. Rosalind Carter was laid to rest that day. All eclipse. This is all eclipse kind of energy. And it was also the 1-year anniversary of ChatGPT. And there was a lot of information, this is very air energy, which is Venus in Libra, the Libra eclipse. Libra being technology, communication. And there was a lot of headlines and articles written about should we be scared? It's obviously not going anywhere, but how is this going to work? Some people, some companies and organizations have embraced AI as a way to assist employees and to help with workload, while others, as in my eclipse experience, were ousted and replaced with AI. What do we need a copywriter? What do we need a copy editor for? We're just going to use AI for that. So it's like, all right, well, you run a culture and community focused organization and you're letting that be run by robots who can only repurpose information that's already in existence. So you're not really moving a culture forward if you're not letting people run that part of things. So, really interesting energy there. That was like the 1 year anniversary with that Libra air energy, an ecliptic. It was a monumental time. It was an anniversary. So there was that. Then let's see here. Anything that I want to share on Thursday? No. So I'm going to jump to Friday. Here's where things get a little bit lighter. Ish. So first, let's just go with the heavy, and then let's get a little bit lighter. But combat resumed in the Israel-Hamas war on Friday the 1st, but all week long, Venus with the South Node. South Node is release, Venus in Libra, the people. So there were hostages released all week long. Very ecliptic because the war began in eclipse season. We see that they had a week-long ceasefire while hostages were being released, and then combat resumed. And so we pick right up where they left off. And then for the more levity of it all, with the eclipse energy being triggered, the Golden Bachelor came to a conclusion. I know that was a big... I didn't see any of it, but I know that it was a big deal in the zeitgeist. But Venus with the South Node, he made his selection. I love yous were exchanged. And so this Libra side of acting and TV and entertainment, art and beauty, love, all of that energy there, like being showed in like a big way, like with the conclusion of the show, the selection of the lover and the I love yous exchange. That was really cute. And then just in continuing of that vibe, Macaulay Culkin finally got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So especially since we're in the holiday season with Home Alone probably being streamed 1 trillion times, that was duly deserved. It was, time, and very, very eclipse kind of energy, but Venus in Libra being representing acting and entertainment. And then that recognition on a big scale with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Pretty cool to see it all in motion, you see. And, think about your week. Reflect back and say, like, where were eclipses triggered for me? In these Venusian kind of themes. And I will go ahead and this goes right into newsboard items, but the web store was released on, let me see, what day was that? That was November 24th. And on Wednesday, in honor of the November 29th, in honor of my mom's birthday, it's my second year doing it, but I've dubbed that Mama's Day. And Miss Debbie Bennett was a big shopper. I'm really close to one of her best friends when she was living, and she always tells me fun and hilarious stories about my Sagittarius mom, like running up to Cincinnati, because we grew up in Kentucky, so Cincinnati wasn't that far. She would go up to Cincinnati because that's where all the big stores were. And she would drop so much money on new clothes and like hide them from my dad. And yeah, same energy over here. I'm a huge shopper, and when I first heard it, I was like, my God, some of these things really do just get passed down because I am such a shopper. My family has joked for years that if I was starving and I had enough money to either buy a meal or an article of clothing, that I would choose clothing. And they're not wrong. But I held a Mama's Day sale and so many orders. And I appreciate all of you that placed orders on that day. You used the discount code, and it means a lot because it made the day more sweet and less bitter. It was a rough morning, as it always is. You know, it's bittersweet, and she is definitely one of my guides. She is a force whenever she's kind of leading the way in card readings. She's real saber-toothed tongued, I'll say that. That's for sure. I feel like I laugh a lot whenever she's in the steering wheel and really guiding my intuition and everything when I'm working with clients. But there's also a lot of times where I have to say, I'm so sorry. Like, she can just be really blunt, and she comes through real strong. And, you know, there's times where I've literally said, the message I'm getting is, you know, this is the shit you go to therapy for. So, you know, and it's like, it's just what I'm hearing, and that's not how I would say it, but I can't help but respond because, oh my God, like, woman, get your stuff together. I'm with a client. So that was really cool. Also, part of the eclipse energy for yours truly, and a part of the news board. Spotify sent in the podcast stats. Hold on, let me just find. I'm just gonna find this and share this with you. I know what I need to do. I need to go to the video. Here it is. Oh, no, not that one. Nope, it is this one. Okay, hold on. I'm going to find... Let me just share with you. So, here we go. Nope, I lied to you, so sorry. How does it feel to have gone global? Here we go. So, the U.S. is... I have the most listeners in the U.S., yes. But then... top 5 countries where people are consuming This Week with Drunk Astrology. Are you ready for it? The U.S., Canada, Australia, what up, mates? United Kingdom, I don't even want to try and do that accent, and New Zealand. I am flabbergasted to know that is where you guys are. Hello, I love every single one of you. Thank you for listening. And then let me just give you some of these little stats here. Let's see, I got a 5.0 podcast rating. Thank you all for rating your astrologer. And then, here we go. This year, the podcast has seen 144% growth in listenership, 90% growth in streams, 128% growth in followers. Can you believe these freaking numbers? Let's see here. This is a top 10 podcast for 278 of you. I'm honored. Thank you. I'm a top 5 podcast for 180 of you. Thank you. And I am a number 1 podcast for 51 of you. So, holy ish. I just, there's no more, and I got this information on Wednesday on my mom's birthday, the 29th, which is the second day with Venus being with the South Node. So that is a huge just moment and marker for me, for this work, for this podcast. So I just want to just scream thank you. This is why your ratings, your reviews, your comments, you sharing this podcast, this is how we grow. And this is why and how the Drunk Astrology community this year has seen exponential growth here just with the podcast. So please consider this like a huge digital hug from me to every single one of you that listens every single week, that supports me, that supports this work. Your curiosity with astrology and you embracing the way I do it and I share it, it does not fall short. It is not taken for granted. If I can just say over and over and over again how grateful I am, how lucky I feel, and how aligned that this podcast and the Daily Dose of Stars podcast, these two things together, like make my soul sing. I am happiest when I'm in this work. So thank you from the bottom of my heart and just the depths of my soul, to use Venus and Scorpio kind of language. Thank you so much. The next little thing I want to share with you on the web store, on the news board side of things, is dates for purchasing candles and body oils in the web store. I have done my due diligence and my research to give you this information. So for ground shipping, you have until December 16th to order your candles and oils for guaranteed delivery by Christmas. If you want to go priority, things get more expensive. It's like $20 and up for priority, but your deadline is December 18th. And if you want to go express for guaranteed delivery by Christmas, now express goes like $30 and up. It gets wild out here. Let me tell you something. Learning about shipping rates and formulas and all of that is the reason why the web store took me so friggin' long to figure out. But for guaranteed delivery by Christmas with express shipping, December 20th is the last day to get your order in. So I highly encourage you. You have a 2-week window from now until December 16th where you can get ground shipping, which is not high at all. You can get ground shipping, guaranteed delivery by Christmas, okay? So I would say the sooner the better. We've already sold out. Last week with Mama's Day, we sold out of Taurus, Virgo, and Scorpio. I have since made more stock, so we are fully stocked. By the time you press play on this at the top of the week, we're fully stocked, all 12 signs. I have inventory of everything. So get to the web store. I will put a link in the show notes for you to shop the web store. Really easy, one click. And get your shopping done now, just so you don't, press. We're gonna with Mercury retrograde looming, and we'll be in it by the 16th. You're better off doing things now than waiting. I don't trust it. Okay, and switching gears, the last news board item. Drum roll, please. This week, excuse my dog. I excited him when I did the drum roll. This week, and maybe the bark was a good little audio switch here. This week begins my new 7-part series called Manifest Big in 2024. 7-part, you hear that? 7-part means 7 guest speakers in all different kinds of categories. We've got a ritual/altar expert. We've got a crystal expert. We've got a destiny card reader. We've got an intimacy expert. Hello, Venus and Scorpio. I'm going to actually be interviewing her this week for this series. We've got the Astro Twins coming in, and they gave a great, it was Tali from the Astro Twins. She gave us a great, our interview is fun, and it's like two astrologers like going at it. It was just hilarious and awesome. And more. Okay, Elise Joan is coming in with some longevity tips. How do we improve our lives and extend our lives in healthy? We like, who wants to live longer and be in suffering? No, this is about longevity techniques. So anyway, it starts this week on Wednesday, December 6th. Episode 1 of How to Manifest Big in 2024 will be launching on this here platform. Okay, so the same place, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get this podcast on Wednesday, baby, get ready. Because I have literally power-packed this series so that there is no way that you don't have an amazing 2024. Now, listen, we're all human, and the human experience is vast. So I can't say that you're not going to have the ups and downs because we're all human, and we all do. But I'm going to give you the good, solid foundation so that you, when you're making these manifestations, intentions, and resolutions, these people are all going to help you create like a force to be reckoned with. You're going to be a cosmic force. So get ready for that. I am so excited to release it. You have no idea. I've been working on this for weeks and getting everything together while doing the web store. So, it's been a lot. Okay, so if there's any other little highlights, let me see here. Highlights. I didn't have any questions this week from listeners. You know that you can submit questions for me to answer on air. Don't forget that you can do that. Just scroll down in the show notes on this episode page, and you can submit a question. Venus in Scorpio, Virgo quarter moon on Monday. We talked about it. On Tuesday, we have a Venus-Saturn trine. So what a great handshake day that is. Great day for love. Great day. Great energy to connect with a boss or an important person and connect with, hey, what can we do for each other? What kind of exchange can we have here? It's also Lauren London's birthday, and let's see if she books a one-on-one reading with me. Remember I told you I met Lauren London one of the days that the nodes were direct? Yeah, that's her birthday. So even if she doesn't book, we love her. She's the first person to buy a Zodiac candle. I mean, come on. So Lauren, wherever you are, if you ever hear this, you've heard it from me first. Happy freaking birthday! On Wednesday, Neptune stations direct. Hello, fogginess and confusing. And so on Wednesday in particular, even though this is an energy all week, but on Wednesday, you are just like, what? I feel like a big blob. Blame Neptune. And the fog will dissipate by Monday, the 11th. On Thursday, we have the sun connecting with Chiron and a juicy trine. So healing opportunities, healing conversations, excitement around growth and change and evolution. Wow, that's a great hug to your wounds. And this is like validation energy. So look to see how you're validated on Thursday the 7th. Mercury connects with Jupiter for the first of 3 times in his retrograde story. So our retrograde is looking pretty positive. Lots of growth opportunities, lots of, I want to say exchanging here, exchanging gifts. Seems to be quite a thing here. Great energy for the day after you hearing episode 1 of How to Manifest Big in 2024, if I so say so myself. And then Saturday, Venus has an opposition to Jupiter. Now, the 2 benefic planets, benefic meaning that they are the planets that mostly provide positive influence. When they oppose each other, this can be an exciting opportunity, an exciting day, an exciting energy, good. Let's see, Venus in Scorpio, Jupiter in Taurus. Hey, this can be a landfall of money. Hello, the more the merrier. Give us some money, some opportunity coming to light. So look for offers and opportunity. This can be, even though oppositions are classically separative and argumentative, when you've got 2 nice planets involved, this could be a really cool offer, a really cool opportunity. All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Please keep that up. And I'll see you this week in your inbox. I will, of course, be packing up all your orders. So don't forget to do that. Don't trust this Mercury retrograde with these shipping dates. I mean, I've added a cushion in there too, but I'm just saying you're better off early than late. Okay? So reach out if you have any questions. Scroll down. There's a whole bunch of information to connect with me. And get ready for how to manifest big in 2024. Okay, have a great week. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey, one last thing before we go. Who are 3 people you could share this episode with? Who would benefit from learning astrology in real time? From learning how to work with the energy of the cosmos, from tracking the patterns and cycles, to seeing it in real time in motion. Can you text them right now? Can you send that message and just say, I'm going to share this show with you because I think that you would really vibe with learning in this way. I would appreciate it, they would appreciate it, and you'll feel good knowing that you're spreading the love. Let's keep that high vibration going. I'll see you next week. Bye.